Cheers. So today I'm going to do a walk around on the DRZ400E. There are some really good videos already out there. This is just my journey. I'm going to explain to you the order that I did them and also the cost of each one. That's a little bit scary for me because I haven't actually calculated the total cost yet, so I'm interested to find out, but I also don't want to. So I picked up this 2018 model in 2019, had 480 kilometres, had the Cape York pack, which includes some bark busters, the radiator guards, the better handlebars, the bash plate and an exhaust tip. The other mods it came with were a tail tidy and some little LED indicators. The only mod that I needed to do initially were the case guards, which are B&B. Got those for about $90 plus $10 for the heat resistant glue. At the same time I ground down the gear lever, just got rid of that pointy end. That was the only mod I needed for about 8 months. When it was time for its first service, I got a couple of extra things done to give me a little bit more performance out in the bush. I got a new front tyre, went with the Dunlop MX53, has awesome grip off-road. Little bit sketchy on the road above 85 k's an hour. While I'm doing mostly off-road, I'm going to keep it, but as we get more into the longer adventure rides, I'll probably put something a bit more suitable on. On the rear, I put a Dunlop D606, which is pretty common on the DRZs from what I've noticed. Great tyre all round basically. So the front tyre was about $100 and the D606 about 130 to 140. I got the 130 profile put on, so a little bit wider. While it was in, I also got the breather hoses relocated. As you'll see here, I did fall into a little mud puddle and the bike did conk out on me. So now the breather hoses have been relocated into the airbox. Shouldn't be a worry anymore. So that one you could do yourself. Because I got it done during its first service with the tyres, probably cost me about $50. So on the first trip after its service, the bash plate did rattle loose. It's only held in by the one bolt, so we were able to backtrack and find the plate, and then I just went to the local nuts and bolts shop and got some spares, $10 for a whole bunch. Starting our adventure rides, the first thing I got was a quad lock for the phone. They are known for damaging some phones' camera stabilisers. I think that's mostly with the iPhones. I use a Samsung Note 9. Haven't had any issues yet, touch wood. I know Quad Lock do now provide a dampener, which you can get as an extra. Quad Lock's been really handy at helping us navigate our way through some state forests. I've also got the Quad Lock USB power supply. With that one you need to run it from the handlebars along your frame to the battery. So you've got to remove the tank, your seat and the side plastics, etc. So if you were thinking about upgrading your tank as well, probably a good idea to run your power at the same time. Quad Lock system all up from memory for the mount, the power supply, the phone case, the dustproof cover. I think it was about $150. The next thing we noticed we kind of needed was some extra fuel, which led me to the 17-litre Safari tank. I've done a separate video on the Safari tank. I'll embed that video at the end of this video, so check it out if you're interested. The tank is good for about 350 to 400 kilometres, and delivered it cost me $520. Next on the list was the B&B rear rack. I got it second hand off Marketplace for $100. It's an older version but fits perfect. I did notice I was after a bit more room to spread my gear, so I got the B&B rear plate as well. That was $110 delivered. So then doing the adventure rides, we noticed that our RPMs were a little bit high at the higher speeds. So we got 15 2-sprockets. I was pretty lucky that this bike actually had one when I bought it, but it didn't have the 15 2-sprocket cover. So I got the B&B cover. It was about $70 to $80 delivered, and you can pick up a 15 2-sprocket for about 35 bucks. It's had a big impact on the way the bike rides at those high speeds, and it's actually been really good in the bush as well. So it's a good all-rounder. So now it's geared at 15 front and the standard 47 in the rear. So the other thing I noticed at those higher speeds was a little bit of buffeting on the chest and the neck area. So I grabbed the Screens for Bikes screen, and it's made a bit of a difference at those higher speeds. And it's just held in with three small bolts, and you need to remove the headlight fairing, which is three screws. So it's quite easy to install and then remove if not needed in the bush. So the screen was $130 delivered. I'll do a separate video on the camping gear I take and how I pack it. So I've got an Audi dry bag, it's 50 litre, and they were $25. And this fits most of the bigger gear quite comfortably. And then on the side here I've got the Nelson rig side bags, and they're really good for the smaller items, some spare tubes, some tools, and the things I need to get to pretty quickly. They cost $220. So I did notice the side panel was getting a bit warm when using the side bags, so I have had to put some heat tape underneath that panel, and that was another $50 from Supercheap. Then we got the double take mirror. I have tried the cheaper eBay fold mirrors. I didn't find them very good. The double take mirrors are good for the trails because you can fold them in quickly. They are pretty new to me, and I do find they vibrate a little bit, so I probably do need to fine tune them. You need to buy them in 3 bits. So you've got the ball mount, the extension, and the mirror, and you're looking at about $110 to $120 all up. So the extras I got that aren't really needed are the exhaust and the JD kit. The exhaust is the Yoshi R3. It was a bit of a Christmas gift to myself. I find it sounds crisper than the standard, which is a bit like a couple of flip-flops clapping together. And the JD kit, which has the 168 jet in it, it helps give it a bit more response. So exhaust was $970, and the JD kit was $200. All right, we'll start it up. So in conclusion, I reckon I got a pretty good DRZ now. The only thing I feel like it's missing is a comfier seat. I'll definitely look into that fairly soon, as this one is pretty stiff on the longer rides. So the DRZ400E, it's a top bike in standard, but with a few mods you can turn it into that really versatile machine. Just a beast. The other accessory that I find really useful is the Ballard's tyre clamp. It makes loading and unloading super easy. I'm trying to build this channel now. If you can hit that like and subscribe button, that'd be awesome. Till next time, cheers. So you can see on your screen a pretty hefty list of modifications. I'm expecting that figure when I reveal it to be pretty substantial. Just bear in mind when looking at that list, it did take me about 15 months to build the bike up, and you know, I've obviously bought things as I could along the way, so it wasn't a huge investment straight up, but rather built up over time. Again, before I reveal the magic number, this bike is now able to take me on some great adventures, which in my opinion are pretty priceless. And here's the magic number. There you go, $3,115. So that's a hefty amount, but like I said, I'm pretty happy with what I've got now, and it's a bike that I plan on keeping for a long time and getting a lot more enjoyment out of. So hope this was helpful to someone looking at getting a DRZ or building theirs up, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.